Hey guys, welcome to this virtual tour around London with me as your tour guide. We have just arrived in London, departing from the London Bridge station, which is actually the oldest railway station in London. It has undergone many changes over the years. It didn't help development when it suffered bomb raid damage during the 1940s, but it was reworked and funded to be what it is today. The way that we're currently walking is towards London Bridge and the Tower of London. I quite like the fact that the game has added multiple different cultures or accents, because that supports the fact that London is the most culturally diverse city in the world, with over 8 million residents and around 300 different languages. So yeah, I love how they added that detail. There is something that I always love to talk about, especially since it's part of London's history, and that is the Jack the Ripper mystery. They never discovered who it was to this day. However, members of the royal family, the Queen Victoria's doctor at the time, and even author Lewis Carroll were suspected. So I have an interest in the subject only because I played a game of it way back, and I love Cluedo type stuff, or whodunit movies and things. So yeah, from what I concluded, it seemed to have been a doctor, but I'm not a real detective, so, you know. I seriously love red postboxes. I know it's kind of weird, but I just love the style of them. I think it's because, like, the history maybe, or just how they look antique. And the first 6 postboxes that were placed in London was in 1855. There is also a ton of history and other stories that have happened in London, even simple as pub signs. There's so much history, it's just crazy. So yeah, I'm just going to speed ahead a little bit. Hopefully you can keep up with me. Just going to zoom, and yeah, the thing I love so much about this as well is that all the streets are actually accurate. If you literally go to London and do the same way, you will literally end up in the same places. So it's completely map accurate. If you wanted to learn where to go in Watchdogs first before going to London, then you won't get lost. Some things may be a tiny bit different, but it's pretty much the same. Okay, so we're at the point that's close to London Bridge, and you can see the Shard in the distance, which is actually 87 stories high, so that's pretty cool. This section is pretty much the same, obviously modified and set in the future for the game reason. Even these little advertisement like billboards and stuff are actually quite accurate as well, like with the whole if you find it, say something and all that kind of stuff, so the ads are pretty accurate. Hey, there's me in my reflection. About the boat, I cannot remember what it's called, so I'm really sorry about that. In real life, it's actually closer to the side of the thingy that I'm walking on, but yeah, on here it's a bit further out. And there is London Bridge from a distance. So this is a definite movie star, as it was the area where they filmed Spider-Man Far From Home, and other movies too. So I found it amazing when I was actually at the bridge that Spider-Man was filmed on, so, you know, the inner nerd came out. It's said to be home to many bats and swallows in each of the nook and crannies on the bridge as well, which is quite cute. And it's also rumoured to be haunted, as there've been claims of a British policeman patrolling at night time or something. So it sounds spooky, but I have no idea. It would actually be a really cool Easter egg to add that into the game, I think. But yeah, it's just like a little myth or something. And speaking of dark, we have nursery rhymes here. I don't know if it's in other places or just here, but the nursery rhymes are quite dark because they're to do with like the plague and all that kind of stuff. And there is one that you may know of already, which is the London Bridge is falling down. In general, the way it's literally reinforced, I don't think it would be falling down. Maybe in like the past when it was first built, but the meaning behind it I think is believed to be a metaphor of death or society crumbling, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it was open to traffic in 1973, and I will always find it so cool and fascinating that it is also a drawbridge. Here's one of the little London stores. These are like popped around everywhere in the actual place. You can buy like souvenirs and stuff like that. In the game, it's slightly exaggerated because there's like a ton in every corner. Right, let's zoom. Alright, so, oh my gosh, I just got smacked. I don't know where he came from, so I'm just gonna zoom ahead. Maybe I'm not allowed to use my camera there. So yeah, this is London Bridge, and there's also an above section, which is pretty cool. I think you can actually go up there, but you have to pay to go up there and stuff, so I haven't done that yet in my life. Fun fact about the red buses, they're also known as the omnibus in the early 19th century, and they were actually horse-drawn before becoming steam-powered during the 1830s. And nowadays there's the tour bus versions which have the open tops or just generally tour bus version, which you can also have tea and cakes on as well. So, the River Thames is actually now one of the cleanest rivers to flow through a large city, considering that it was declared biologically dead in 1957. It's pretty impressive how it has recovered since the late 60s, and surprisingly the Thames is also home to around 125 species of fish. A bit of a strange fact is that, hey, it's my shadow! You can literally see my arm with holding the phone. Okay, so a bit of a weird fact. The Thames is actually said to provide 2/3 of London's drinking water, after being treated and filtered, of course, since it's literally brown. But I don't want to think about that. I don't like thinking about where water comes from. Okay, so we're here at the Tower of London. The London Bridge is actually called Tower Bridge, but you can call it either, and they're right next to each other as well. But yeah. Inside the Tower of London, due to suspicion, there is apparently 6 ravens kept in the tower, even today. They are to remain there at all times, and each raven has a clipped wing. So, in my opinion, I find this cruel and unnecessary. So I hope that it isn't the case today, although the royals literally don't really care for animal welfare whatsoever. Like, quite a lot of people, unfortunately. Oh, is it starting to rain? Yeah, it's starting to rain. Huh, that's accurate for London. Or England, UK. I love some rain, so that's good. This looks amazing with the rain, by the way. The shine and everything on the stuff. That's pretty realistic. And the puddles. It's so nice. Oh, and in the 1200s, apparently King Henry III was gifted a polar bear by Norway, the King of Norway, the polar bear lived in the Tower of London and would swim in the Thames on hot days. Again, though, as I mentioned before about the cruelty, in my opinion it seems just wrong to have a polar bear in London, and apparently the bear was chained and muzzled to keep them from escaping, so it's kind of a sad fact. Moving on. So that's a bit of the garden. Well, this is a part of the garden here. As you can see behind me, there's London Bridge, there's a red bus, and you have Tower of London. You can still see the Shard over there as well. And yeah, nice and rainy. And I better stop filming because I think people are getting annoyed with me. So yeah, there have been hundreds of famous people living in London, even to today of course. Some of the historic ones though are Darwin, Dickens, Jimi Hendrix, Wolfgang, Mozart, Nightingale and many more. There's actually now blue plaques hung where they lived. Not sure where they are, but they're just dotted around somewhere. Here's some more architecture and buildings. It's literally so nice to walk around in the game of London. It's not like Google Maps, it's literally just amazing. A virtual world that's real. There's the gherkin over there, a part of it. I think it's also called something else, but I can't remember. Alright, let's zoom down here. We have bus shelters, there's a bunch of different shops, and people with umbrellas. Got some nice benches as well. I'm not sure if it's just here or if it's elsewhere as well, but I love how there's like the little green and red man for the crossing and the beeping and stuff like that. And it's actually fun when you're in London because the first time I experienced it was there. But there's the timer on the traffic lights, so when you're going to cross the road it has like a 10-second timer, so you have to quickly get to the other side. So, within London you can easily travel through the underground to reach other areas, but I prefer to walk the entire thing to get a true view of everything and stuff, like the old architecture, the old paving. The underground was actually meant to be filled with water at one point, but instead trains were chosen obviously. Speaking of walking all around London, it's very tiresome afterwards, because it's literal miles. But it's worth it, especially if it's the first time and stuff, it's definitely worth it. Because I see travelling in the underground kind of like fast travelling, like how it is in the game. It's just, you're skipping everything just to go to one area, which is fine if you've been before or if you live there. But yeah, the time I visited, we literally walked from London Bridge station to most of the landmarks. Literally pretty much this entire video I'm just retracing everywhere that we went. And what I thought was a lot of museums where we went. We probably went to about 4. There's actually over 170 museums in London, which is crazy. I think that might include the art galleries, but I'm not too sure. And here we have St. Paul's Cathedral, with one of the largest domes in the world. And besides being an architectural work of art in itself, the building inside is home to multiple pieces of art ranging from classic periods to modern day. The artistry is probably the most fascinating part out of the whole thing for me. Also, like London Bridge, the cathedral has been featured in many movies. Harry Potter, Sherlock Holmes and Thor are some examples that show the monument in there. I'm a nerd, so I noticed that. So again, this is exactly where I was before, and even the trees are in the right place as well. So yeah, it's literally an amazing building. As you can see behind me here, it takes up a lot of space. It makes you feel tiny, especially in person. You have all the traffic in front as well. So yeah, let's quickly speed up over here, and then I can show you the other side. Trying not to annoy people. Okay, so this is the other side. I think that might be the front. I'm not sure if it's the front or the back or the side, but that is one part of it as well, with a statue in front. Literally a piece of art. I love the architecture so much, like old classic architecture. And so we still got the nice shiny rain on the pavement. I'm not sure what every single building is. Many of you may recognise this area. Okay, this building here is incredible, but again, I don't really know the name of that one, sorry. I need to brush up on some of the buildings. Probably my favourite part about the weather here, or in general, is a sunset after rain. Is like, as you can see, it's a lot better in person, but even here is like, it's just stunning. The disturbing but true fact is that Aldgate Station has probably over 1,000 people's remains buried underneath. And if you walk underneath there today, towards the platform, you are passing through the space which was once a plague pit, which is unsettling and sad, but if we delve into such things as war and disease and history and all that, it's devastating how many lives were lost. But yeah, I just found that pretty cool, but disturbing at the same time. But then again, that's pretty much the whole of London or any place that you probably visit. It has some kind of dark history behind it. Oh, okay, it's suddenly nighttime. As soon as I started talking about spooky stories, setting the mood. So this building here, the big pointy one, I actually love. When we were passing by there, there's a Greggs next to it, or near it, so that's how I remember where that is. Let's keep going. You can see the London Eye on the left. Zoom up here. We should be getting close anytime now. Here's a nice looking pub. Another underground here, which is a really nice one. Some of them look really nice and some just look kind of beaten up. Okay, over there, in the distance, you can see the big red thing, or the big giant statue with red lights on it. That's the Trafalgar Square, so that's where we're going to head over to. Here's Trafalgar Square, the focal point, named after the Battle of Trafalgar. So the huge 50-metre column in the centre was built for Lord Nelson, who died in the Battle of Trafalgar, and he had a hero's burial in St Paul's Cathedral. Trafalgar Square was also once a place to feed flocks of pigeons. Even feed sellers would pop up until it was banned around 2007. And around Christmas time, which is when I came last time, on my birthday, there is a Christmas tree in Trafalgar Square every year, which I finally got to see, which is said to be a gift from Norway as thanks for the British support during World War II. Of course, we don't actually have all the protesters there. And a cool little detail that I thought was really awesome is that inside the fountain is actually the pennies. So they paid that much attention to detail that they actually added each penny in there as well. Over here is also one of the world's finest national art galleries, which is free to enter and holds art from all eras. The gallery was founded in 1824. And I found the embassy, but it's kind of weird because it only has Canadian flags on it, and the front of it just says Canada. So I'm not sure why they did that in the game, unless it was something to do with like privacy or something, or some kind of law. I love the lion statues. And from here we can look straight ahead and see Big Ben and part of the London Eye. Let's head over that way. It's quite funny because I think everyone calls the Big Ben, but that's actually the name of the bell inside. The actual name is the Clock Tower, which makes a lot more sense, but I guess the name Big Ben just stuck, so I call it that as well. And I just find it quite an interesting little fact that maybe many people don't know. I stopped in my tracks here because there's a statue of a woman with a harp. I don't know if that was any kind of... but I've seen quite a few of those. I'm not sure if they're copies or meant to be different. But yeah, another myth is that it's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. This is actually misconceived, as it's illegal to enter Parliament wearing a suit of armour, which I can imagine would be quite funny, like something I'd do in this game. But yeah, the issue with dying in Parliament is that anyone who dies on the grounds is actually entitled to a state funeral. But again, I'm not sure if that is also a myth. I've actually been inside the Houses of Parliament and the Commons in 2009, because I won a Christmas card competition at the time. I was only 8, turning 9 unfortunately, so my memory's a little blurry. But it was an incredible experience, and I bumped into Floella Benjamin, who is absolutely lovely. She gave me a hug and sang happy birthday to me. And yeah, she's a baroness, but is also an actress, singer, presenter, author, and a politician. I'm glad I got to experience and meet her, and the MP at that time as well. So number 10 actually started out as number 5, and I can actually enter the area if you'd like to see, but just let me know and I'll do that in the next tour that I do. Something I also love so much about this game is like the signs, like this one here, the diversion sign, or if it's like a digging sign or road closed or anything. It seems like small things, even like barricades and cones, but it's just got like a home feeling because every other game is always in like New York or another country, of course I've never been to, so it resonates with me, I guess. It's got something that's relatable, feels real to me. So yeah, the London Eye can carry 800 people at once, and is the 4th largest observation wheel in the world, standing 443 feet high and weighs more than 1,000 tons, which is crazy. I've only seen it from a distance, to be honest, so it probably is a lot bigger up close. It also has a royalty capsule, which is a different colour to all the rest, but I am still yet to go on the London Eye one day just to see what it's like, because that would be pretty awesome. Okay, so now we're going to head to our final destination, which is Buckingham Palace, because you're probably very tired of listening to me by now, and walking all this distance.
You're a real creep, you know that, right?
And again, people probably get mad at me because I'm using my camera, so let's put that away. Just gonna hijack a bus, don't mind me. In real life, we do not do this, don't worry. Do not try this at home. Alright, so here we go. London tour bus. Taking a nice tour. You can see some of the nice landmarks and buildings in the background, which I haven't spoken about. And when we reach the right area, we will hop off the bus. Okay, so my favourite part of this area in the heart of London is not actually the palace, but the gardens surrounding, which is the St James and Green Parks. They're literally so nice. Okay, so the palace was actually originally built as Buckingham House in 1703, as a large townhouse for Duke Buckingham. Many years later, during the 1800s, the building became a palace of residence for Queen Victoria, and further from there, I guess they had the rest of their family there as well. So the palace currently consists of 775 rooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, 52 royal bedrooms, 19 staterooms, and 78 bathrooms. So I guess there's no worry of ever running out of toilet paper, or taking too long in the bathroom. I feel sorry for the cleaners, but then again, they probably get very well paid. Where is our queen? Oh no, that didn't age well. Okay, okay, so yeah, behind me you can see the palace. It's very big. It's kind of different in real life. Guess they don't want the real thing being in the game. So yeah, the palace survived 9 bomb attacks, and during those times, King George and Queen Elizabeth of the time refused to leave the palace. There is also a clockworker who must maintain over 350 clocks in the palace. What a waste of time. That's a terrible joke, I'm sorry. Let's test out what it's like to actually go in here, entering the palace, when I'm not supposed to. Hey dude, you want to take a selfie with me?
Can't win. Stand down.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, he doesn't want to take a selfie. Let's just beat the crap out of him. Just give me a second, guys. Just wait at the side of the tour, and I'll get back to you. Okay, done and dusted. When the Queen or King is currently at home in the palace, the Royal Standard flag will be waving above the palace, which is a red, yellow and blue flag. Whereas if they're not at home, the Union Jack will be there instead. And if you're worried about leaving on lights at your house or anywhere, there are 40,000 light bulbs that fill the entire palace, which is crazy. The amount of stuff that's in there and just not in just there is like, it's insane. Walking up here is really nice. And if you keep going straight all the way up, you'll get to an archway. I seriously love the lamps here as well, like the old-fashioned lamps. And the bins and the benches, everything is classic. Zoomy zoom all the way up here. And here we are. Okay. Ooh, nice classic car. And there is the archway. There is also a different marble archway, I think somewhere else in London, I can't remember. Alright, so this is the whole archway, which you can actually walk through, and it's huge, it literally is huge. And then you have some other parts here as well, which are really nice. I love the willow trees as well. And you have some other little statues. Unfortunately, it's night time. I actually wanted to show you the palace during the day, but our tour got a little bit long, and it started a little late as well. So yeah, there is seriously so many facts about each landmark alone, and London as a whole. And although it is fun to delve into all the history, our tour has sadly come to an end for today.
What just flew?
Random explosion, okay?
But if you would like to meet me again and tour more of London, please leave a like, let me know your favourite facts, and tell me where you would like to see next in London. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day or night, get home safely from this tour, and please don't tell anyone that I broke into the palace nearly and stole a bus, because I will get in serious trouble from the tour manager people. Thank you. Bye!